All right, boys, we have huge news, huge news, and that is that Ban is getting buffed. Now, the first thing I want to say is I knew it. Shut up, amazing. Everything he does is ass. Okay, anyway, so we're gonna talk about it because they actually like say what they're gonna do with him. They like pretty much like clearly, very clearly state what they're gonna do with him. So where is it? They talk about like Ban for the nursery, right? He's been coming with the concept of suppressing the main character of the opponent's formation and getting an advantage in battle, right? Like disable them by giving them a minus 100% crit chance, and then he can do big damage and get rid of the main DPS. Now the problem is perk melee cleanses and Mael can't be lowered, so they're very stupid. Also, he just doesn't kill. He's just not strong enough, right? Even at 6/6, right? They try to they try to cope and say that like, oh, if it's for some people that don't have the strongest, like I have the 5th constellation and I have like Yorgi everything. He ain't killing, okay, most of the time. Anyway, and ungeared maybe, but I don't play that. So where is it? Okay, as a where is it? However, the 4th, many players were quiet to send the Sinstress, and the Ban commented it was difficult to use Ban's skill that was not strong enough. That's the correct one. Not difficult. It's just not strong enough as a festival character. Rise Field, huge, right? Now they're gonna talk about how they want to ban him, right? How they're gonna buff him, right? And make corrections to compensate for some of its weaknesses. First, importantly, we plan to raise the damage increase value linked to the special move level, right? So if you don't know, if we go to ban. Depending on your ult level, you get a bigger attack rate buff because he has an ult passive like the 1, right? But his is he gets attack rate stats by up to 3%, up to 9% at 1/6, and it goes up to like 50% at 3/6, and up to 30% at 6/6 for each debuff on the enemy, right? For all the attack rate at once, and you get this up pretty quickly, right? It sort of matters. It doesn't. It's not the craziest. But it's pretty crazy. And his ultimate obviously is really at 6/6 is crazy, right? It's just like, yeah, it's super crazy. But that's not like a crazy point. I feel like most ultimates like at 6/6 kill. Like Trey and Melee at 6/6 probably still kills. Anyway, but that's the thing, right? The attack rate stuff. So they're gonna raise that, right? So let's say you have 3/6 like I do, right? Actually, it's 1/6. No, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, okay, it is. Yeah, 3/6, right? Then they're gonna make this like 20% or something, right? And then this is gonna be like 36 or something. I don't know. We'll see how they do it, right? But they're gonna increase that. Okay, that's cool. Okay, that's cool. Especially with the level of blah blah blah. In addition, and this is kind of huge. I feel like this makes it kind of broken potentially, but it also fixes them at the same time. So I don't know how to like feel about this. We plan to change the focus mark debuff, which is the core concept of Bond, to be maintained for a certain number of turns instead of being erased by a sniper effect skill. So this means that when you do his debuff card, you apply the mark and then you don't remove it when you do your guaranteed snipe crit thing. It just stays there. That would be scary. What they should do, and please guys, if there's anyone to listen to game dev advice from in this community, it's me. Make it so when Ban attacks, he still consumes the mark, right? But then it just goes into a like after he consumes the mark, the debuff, the minus 100 crit chance that the mark also applies, just goes into the character until the next turn. Right? So like for their turn, it's still gonna be active even though you've consumed the mark. That's what I think it should be. And it shouldn't be a red debuff, so you couldn't cleanse it or something, because he needs it. He needs to have some sort of utility for the team. Right now, he's not providing anything. Unfortunately, he's not doing anything. Very useless character. I can't lie. I mean, it is what it is. You've heard me complain about him. We're also planning to adjust some of the Ban's survivability. Very big. Okay. Now, one thing people always cope because they don't understand the game. The extortion zone, which is the 20% damage taken by 20% reduce it, right? There's a difference between people that play the game and don't play the game. If you say this does something, you don't play the game. Right? If you say this doesn't do something, you probably play the game. 20% damage decrease is literally useless. Go fight your friend right now, right? And test like a character that has similar stats, get hit with it, and then there's a character that gets hit without it. Okay? Trust me, or like have Ban ready. Don't have his passive unlocked, get hit. Unlock his passive, get hit. It's not going to do a difference. Especially not in stronger cards. It doesn't do a difference. It would do something against like a card like Elegant Blow, right? It would do something. It would slightly affect this, right? It would be like a 6% damage like decrease, right? Like the 20% defense, like stop take open. Mile has a 2. I know it doesn't do anything. The reason it does something is because you're immune to stat lowering everything. Yeah, you're full defense rate stats always, right? Liz still dies mega easy. It's just that if you encroach her and then you think you're gonna one-tap her, that's not gonna happen because her stats are still at a maximum, and then she has all the basic stat increases. Right? The damage reduction doesn't actually affect anything, okay? But many people do not play the game enough or don't want to think about it enough to the point where they just like ignore it, and then it's just wrong. It literally doesn't do anything. So I hope they do something that's better than that. But we'll see. And then also the 15% HP related stats, why can't it be 30? Okay, well HP related I suppose would be a little annoying. People would run Lonely Merlin and stuff, but I don't know. I just think they need to stop being silly. Okay, we plan to pursue the change in direction that can be used with more various characters. Okay, so hey, maybe not just 70 cents, maybe make it humans too, okay? You know what's a character that really likes having a human that has 2 single targets that can both crit? This unit that you released that was shit on release that never got any sort of buff, or like any unit that like worked with it. Who you knew you're going to release, and then the unit that you released before is Mono, right? The OC you released before is Mono, who has an AoE who doesn't work with Roxy because Roxy wants single targets. So I know the dev team, like none of them have logged into the game in probably the past 2 years, but like if you make a unit that's supposed to work with something, and they know what units they're going to release, they have the kits, they have everything obviously scheduled, why not make the characters work with each other? Like why just make them all failures? I don't understand. But anyway, Roxy, huge W if that's what they mean, because I don't see how like that couldn't be it. But that's a huge W. And adjusting the balance of characters that appear to cause confusion among many players and lose confidence in their abilities. Well, not really. No, we all know this year, like the devs, they have not played the game. Please hit me up. Like, write me an email. I can tell you. I can test all the characters before you release them. Please, no one does it like me. But yeah, it's no, this year has been really sad in Grand Cross, right? Almost every unit has been an act. Like I know, I'd say every single unit this year. Except like Red Magelda maybe. No, definitely. Wait, she definitely is part of that. Has just been a complete like the failure from a game design perspective, from like a gacha game release schedule type perspective, from any perspective you can think of, it's probably a failure. Everything they've done this year. Literally everything. I'm not counting Perk Melly. And if you want to count him, hey, maybe you can throw him in there because he's a bit too much, right? But no, like everything else they've done this year, every single unit, like, right? Like, okay, so we like everyone kind of knew that like Bomb was coming. Like in February, we already knew. Like as soon as we thought about it, we already knew it was going to be Bond. We knew it was going to be a Sacred Treasure Bond, right? So we were like, oh, okay. When we saw Jelly King release, right? This guy, we also thought, yo, this guy won 7 Deadly Sins on his team, right? Because then he gets the damage up by 10%, right? Yo, that's crazy, right? Like, oh, he's gonna work, he's gonna work with Bond, right? The AoE weak point and everything, it's gonna work with Bond somehow. It's gonna be really good with Bond. Applicable allies, the 7 Sins. Wow, let's go. Strength, HP, speed. He's light. So what this king is exactly is what's supposed to do? What exactly? Exactly. It's just so stupid. It's just really annoying. It's just like, you look at any unit released this year, right? I mean, High-Key Zena might be the best designed unit this year. That says something. Because her kit is very straightforward, and it works, and the idea is not bad. Okay. Like, this guy sucks, okay? So, a bunch of things wrong with him. Like what they decide to do is, like, you look at this passive, right? Extortion Zone, what it does for his allies. And you look at, like, Perk Melee, like, his stuff. Look at the one. Okay? I don't understand. Right, also the unit this year. Okay, we can count these two. Like these count. If we count this for this year, which I mean, it wouldn't be true, but like, it's just all just failures too. let's see. Echidna was like an accidental hit last year too. I think that they already fell off at that point. They just thought, they just somehow made a good character. Yeah, Mushoku Tensei collab. Don't get me started. Don't get me started on the people that were like, yep, I'm gonna get the main. I forgot the main character names. Rudius. We get Rudius up. Yeah, the King's a failure. Green Ludo is just an immense failure. The Red Megelda is stupid. The Red Goddess Liz is stupid. The Mono is like, I like her like as a unit in isolation, but why release her, right? If you're not gonna make anyone work with her, except the one ultimate. Anything else this year? There's been a couple other this year. There's one under my tongue, but I forgot what it was. Anyway, yeah. That's the craziest. I just realized that that red Liz was like 600 gems, by the way. Yikes. Yikes. But yeah, I'm just gonna end it here, guys. Good show.